But we had 8 penalties, a couple illegal motions, a couple of those, and then you know CD Lamb. I think CD Lamb left the game in the third quarter, which I don't know about you, but I feel like that was the longest third quarter of football I've ever watched in my life. But I
That
think he left.
game was long.
Yeah, but I think Lamb left in like the third quarter. But even that being said, he led the game in receiving yards, 121 yards. And then when he left, they had to turn to some guy nobody's ever heard of, and Ryan Flournoy, who ended up with 115 yards. And George Pickens, people are really putting the magnifying glass on George Pickens because people calling out his effort. Richard Sherman said that he looked like he didn't want to be out there. uh, Kirk Herbstreit called his routes, half-ass basically, and then they put that up against J-Mo's routes. So the Cowboys were coming off of 2 big victories against the Eagles and the Chiefs, but this game, I don't know if they were tired or what, but they started to wear down. And the coach and the game plan I thought was awful for the Cowboys. They had no creativity in the run game. Like they just thought they was gonna dominate the line, I guess, and they just kept running the ball up the middle. And Javonte Williams 17 carries. He averaged 3.9 yards a carry. Like their run game was not going. Even when they were down by like 2 scores, they were still trying to run the ball. And anytime they had an opportunity to kick a field goal, it was like the coach was like, "Oh yeah, a field goal." I can't wait to kick a field goal. So the line to Dan Campbell's credit, that's something that I've been asking for is you don't gotta be you don't gotta be, how can I put this? Like, yeah, you could be aggressive, but sometimes it's okay to just let people fall down the stairs. Um, you don't gotta race them to the bottom of the stairs. Just let them fall down the stairs. You know what I mean? Like, and Dan Campbell just let the Cowboys fall down the stairs, and then once they were down, he just walked down the stairs and stepped over their bodies and got to the end zone.
Yeah, man, and they were talking about Dan Campbell didn't go. I don't think we went for it one time this game on fourth down, and I think that was just the flow of the game. That's just how the game was going. Um, there wasn't really a need to, like to your point, we controlled the game, the whole game, and I think a lot of the times when Dan is going for it, it's to gain control of the game or put a nail in the coffin and going for the win. And there was just no need to do that. There was just no need to do that this game. Where on the other hand, um, the Cowboys were playing conservative, and I feel like they were the ones that should have been going on the fourth down because there was a couple of times when we stopped them on like third and short, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right, one more stop. What they about to go for it? And I looked up, and the field goal team was all like, oh, all right, well, cool. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So what I'm saying, I've always, me, I've always been a fan of being aggressive, but I thought Dan played this game uh perfectly, man. I am a fan of going for it when it makes sense, and even the edgier times, as long as you have, if I can get to the reason why you're going for it, then I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? The last couple of games, there have been times where he went for it, and I was like, that just didn't make sense. That just seems like you're going for it just out of desperation, and that's not the type of coaching that we need out of Dan Campbell. So we'll see what Dan does moving forward. Like we said earlier, we got a lot of injuries on defense, and we'll see if Dan still has that same confidence in the defense that he's been having that he had this past week. So um, that's all I got on it.
Before we get into bet it up, one more question. Brad Holmes was passing out contracts um, like it was his job. Brad Holmes passing out contracts this offseason, during the season, extensions here, extensions there. One person he did not give an extension to, though, on top of Frank Ragnow, but one person he did not give an extension to was Alex Anzalone. We said we were going to go into the season and just kind of see how it plays out. He gave him, I don't know, he gave him some shopping money, I guess you could call it. But 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 now we are over halfway through the season. We only got 4 games left. Where are you at with this Alexander Zanoni situation as far as extending them, letting them walk, replacing them? What's your thoughts on that?
um, I like Alex Anzalone, but as far as I know, I do not expect Detroit Lions to extend Alex Anzalone. As of right now, the only person I expect to get extended is Jameer Gibbs. I feel like Jack Campbell is becoming one of the better uh, linebackers in the league, and I feel like they are moving from Anzalone to to Campbell to take over, to Jack Campbell to take over for what Alexander Anzalone needs to do. Now, as Anzalone does have major contributions to the team, but I'm not sure if they're willing to pay him for what for what he brings. Like kind of Jack Campbell kind of took over what he used to do. You know what I'm saying? Like Alexander Zalona used to be the main guy to get all the to clean up all the tackles and the leading tackler on the team and get all that. And that was Jack Campbell does. I see in place of Anzalone, Jack Campbell does all that. Not to say that what Anzalone doesn't do isn't perfect, but now more so I see Anzalone in a role of covering, and Anzalone is not the best coverer. So I just feel like they will move on from him and get a younger guy. Maybe look for somebody a little bit more uh, athletic and more who's able to cover a little bit more. So, but that's just what I think. I don't know how you feel on it.
I wanted them to extend Anzalone before the season. I wasn't a fan of what they ended up doing, which was guaranteeing his contract and throwing a bonus on there or something like that. Uh, I understood what you were saying about him pretty much being replaced by Campbell, and I didn't really have much to say to it back then. But now, after watching it through the season, I actually took somewhat of a dig at Campbell, saying that he was just your textbook linebacker. He could do a little bit of everything, but I'm like, they got, me and you got into it on whether or not he would draft essentially an edge rushing linebacker. But it turns out Jack Campbell got some edge rush in him, some blitz in him, and Jack Campbell has picked up a couple sacks this season. And when they send Jack Campbell, he gets home from time to time. So my thing is, when you do send Jack Campbell, I don't want Derek Barnes in coverage. I mean, Rodrigo's back. Apparently, according to the stat sheet, he played, had 2 tackles. I didn't see him out there, but I just don't know how they plan on going about it. Like, yeah, Anzalone's not a lockdown guy, but I feel comfortable with Anzalone in coverage much better than I do anybody else. Because otherwise, if I gotta have Campbell back there, then I can't send him on the blitz and have him cover. So I do hope they extend Anzalone.
It's not looking good, man. You know how Brad Holmes feels about Brad Holmes feels about getting rookies in there, a hurt rookie in there. So you're probably gonna see a hurt rookie in there next year to replace Anzalone. But I feel like they're gonna go get a younger guy to replace Anzalone. and somebody who's better at covering. You know what I'm saying? And that's, I mean, because I feel like that's more of the role that Anzalone is falling into instead of blitz in the middle like he used to. I mean, he still does it, but not as much as he used to. And speaking of drafting, man, with Brian Branch, I wanted to ask you, with Brian Branch going down, does that like we were discussing earlier what moves Brian Branch will make? I mean, what moves Brad Holmes will make in the draft this year? And I was saying it should be O lineman, defensive edge, O lineman, and what I'm saying that's what you need. But when Brian Branch goes down, does that open the door for him making more moves and straying away from what the holes that we said we need?
Does it open the door?
Yeah, because like now you need a safety because Kirby Joseph is 50-50. Brian Branch is not going to be there at the beginning of the season, and like we just said, you might have to replace Anzalone. So
It
like,
doesn't open the door because per our previous discussion, I was trying to emphasize that that door is wide open, and anybody that tries to close it, there are a multitude of excuses that one Brad Holmes can give you as towards why he will never close that door. That door is and will always be wide open. But we could go on and bet it up. And I'm not even going to go hard on Brad Holmes. All I'm going to say is that with these injuries and the way that this team is playing and the way things are going, this team, if this this team has to win the Super Bowl this year. Like they have to win the Super Bowl this year because
oh wow.
if they don't win the Super Bowl this year, you made a reference in a couple of shows back where you said that at some point somebody got to go in that locker room and flip a table. If they don't win the Super Bowl this year, or even get to a Super Bowl, we can even set the bar there. If they don't get to a Super Bowl, hell, I'll even set it at the NFC Championship. If we get to the NFC Championship again, all of these things which we've done before with you could argue a lesser team, if we don't get back to there this year, then as an organization, somebody needs to flip a table. And, and my proverbial table flip is somebody got to feel it, man. Somebody got to feel it. Somebody got to get let go, and it's got to be somebody that everybody sees, and it's got to be somebody who them leaving lets everybody know, hey, if they let him go, I could be going next. Like it's got to be something that's going to put that type of pressure on this team because if we don't make it to the NFC Championship, then we can't just keep going along this path that we're going along.
Uh, yeah. It ain't gonna be. I mean, even if we don't make it, and we got a rough path to make it to the NC championship or the Super Bowl, man. We got a rough path. We made it harder on ourselves with how we've been playing lately. But yeah, if we do get to that point, don't let somebody go. It's not gonna be Brad Holmes or Dan Campbell. I mean, Johnny Morton, but I don't see them letting anybody go. I just feel like it will be put on the injuries that we attained this year, and if anything, we need to reassess our training squad. But I just feel like it will be put on the injuries that we assess. We lost like, what is it? We lost like a lot of major players. I mean, we don't have as many players on IR as we did last year, but we got more notable players on IR. I mean, Kirby, uh, Laporta, uh, Terrion, now Brian Branch. You know what I'm saying? It's like key factors. You know what I'm saying? People that's supposed to be out there. And I think a lot of the blame will be put on that if we don't make it that far. Now, that being said, the season is not over, and we still got to see what we're gonna do. If we come out playing like we played yesterday, then I have no doubt that we can do that. But you know what I'm saying? I feel like it just depends on us playing mental mistake free football.
I agree with you that nobody's gonna get let go or fired or traded. I agree with you on that. I'm saying that that's what needs to happen in the event that we don't get to the NFC Championship. You could blame the training staff, as most of our arguments, they're typically in my mind traced back to Brad or Dan. Injuries can be traced back to Brad and Dan. Uh, I sent you the clip of Avante Maddox saying that the way they practice, that shit would have never went down in Philadelphia. We said we would put a pin in it and see where we are later on in the season. Well, here we are in the season, and guys are hurt again. Dan said, "Hey guys, I'm gonna work you guys hard, but you guys gotta believe me. This is how we get to victory. I can't prove that the Lions practice harder than everybody else, and this is why they get so injured. But at the same time, I don't know. I don't know. You got the dreaded Ford Field turf, which has claimed a lot of injuries over his day. The training staff, I don't know. I don't know how these things work. I heard somebody called in and said that, and the host said that a lot of these guys got their own regimen. They got their own personal trainers. I know Hutch and his brand. I'm sure they got their own people. Which, speaking of Hutch, real quick, speaking of Hutch, how did you feel about Hutch's play last game?
um, it was a typical Hutch game. Like Hutch had a I want to say good game because it would depend on how you determine good because the man had 39 pressures. The man had 39 pressures, but he didn't record a sack. So it's what we always say of Hutch. He was in the backfield. He was almost there every like 90% of the time, 90 to 80% of the time. Hutch is almost there. Hutch is on the play. He's in the play. He's in camera. He's in camera frame of when the quarterback is throwing the ball. Like if Dak is throwing the ball, Hutch is 1 second off of him every time. So what I mean, so in was he causing disruption? Did he? Was he a problem that needed concern? Yes. Was he finishing? No. You know what I'm saying? And that's always been the problem with Hutch. He just hasn't been able to finish yet. And I was talking to my brother about it the other day, man, and he was just saying that we were saying that, Hutch is he said something about Hutch that you're like, yeah, man, Hutch is just always on go. You know what I'm saying? He's you know what I'm saying, he's just a motor. He's always on go. And I was thinking like, you know what, man? That might be the problem. Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Hutch is always on go. Maybe Hutch needs to calm down a little bit because with you always being on go, like you go right past where you're trying to get to. You know what I'm saying? Like the over pursuing has always been a problem, and then we see Hutch on the other side. They take him out for a play, and he's over there like you be looking at him like, man, get that man some oxygen. So you know what I'm saying? Maybe you need to calm down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you need to take in and look where you're going. Maybe you need to, instead of just being on go. I mean, being on go is fine. You know what I'm saying? I don't. That's the way you play, and that's the way you cause your disruption. But at a certain point, you kind of got to look around and see where you're going. You know what I'm saying? If you're always on go and you ain't trying to, you know what I'm saying? If you're going that way and the quarterback moves over there, but you're still going that way, Then you got to, oh, he moved over there, stop, and then go back. By the time you get back, the ball is gone. So I don't know, man. Maybe Hutch just needs to calm down a little bit. And I don't know. Maybe he's overextended. Maybe he's just doing too much. I don't know.
One of my favorite football movies of all time, Little Giants. A bunch of NFL players got broke down on the Madden bus, and they helped the Little Giants figure out how to play football. And I don't remember what player it was, but one player told one of the Little Giants, I don't even know if I'm getting this quote exactly right, but it was something along the lines that football is 80% mental and 40% physical. Um, Hutchinson is 100% physical, and he leaves a little bit to be desired on the mental side. To your point of slowing down is a strategy. Everybody. They say both sides of the ball gets paid. Um, so at some point, man, like you're not gonna just be able to bully everybody. You're gonna have
Right.
to some type of strategy, finesse, something. But every time you go out there and you just do the same thing, like yeah, the tape is out, man. You've been in the league for almost 5 years now.
I do got one more question for you though.
Go ahead.
Um, so, so you sent me a text last night that said that and some people kind of mirror your sentiment a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Jared Goff, I feel like Jared Goff the last two games had okay games, man. I mean, it wasn't the best game in the world, but it was they were decent. I didn't have a problem with the way Jared Goff played. I was feeling the way he played. It was okay. He had a couple of missed throws that some of them could have resulted in points, and that happened last week as well too. A couple of times where he had a deep throw that was open, but he just couldn't get to it, or whatever happened, he dropped the ball, or he just missed the throw. You know what I'm saying? And then against the Eagles, he might have had one of the worst games that he had all season long. You know what I'm saying? One of his not signature because he had four turnovers, but one of his bad games. So with your text saying that you don't think golf is it, how would you move forward with golf? Like, do you draft his replacement? No, for the future now. Do you bring in I don't know what's the Tyrod Taylor? I don't know. I just want to know what your game plan is. If golf isn't it, what should be done?
We always gotta ask this question: what should the team do, or what would I do?
I would have to say what should the team do because I mean I'm interested to hear what you would do as well, but I would want a realistic solution because you don't want to remove golf and get worse because like I said besides
No,
those two games
yeah,
besides those
go ahead.
no I was about to say besides those two bad games a year that golf has, I don't have a problem with golf. You know what I'm saying? Now is he the guy to get us over the hump? I That has always been my question with him.
He's What the team should do is what the team is going to do, and that's just ride it out with golf because that's all you can do. Golf plays so well that he forced this team to extend him, and I had no problem with that extension because there was no way that he played as well as he did and got to an NFC championship that you could just turn around and get rid of him. So I have no problem with that. Um, what I would do is not what I what I would do is the polar opposite of what the Lions would do, and that is I would, you know me, I'm a big fan of mimicking championship teams. and and
It
you
was
know,
Matt Stafford's deal all over again.
listen, man, listen. The Oakland Raiders had Randy Moss, and people, hey, but Randy Moss had to get up out of there, and Randy Moss went to the New England Patriots, and that man almost had the second undefeated season in football. And the Detroit Lions had Matthew Stafford, and they never could do anything with him. And Matthew Stafford got up out of there and goes to a team, and he wins the Super Bowl. So there is a quarterback out there. I also sent you another text, bro. If Dak Prescott, say what you will, man, say what you will about Dak, say what you will about the Cowboys. If Dak Prescott was our quarterback, I think this offense would like this offense is this offense is like KO Ken Goku, right? KO Ken Goku was a bad dude, man, but it took Krillin to die, and that nigga went Super Saiyan. You got Dak Prescott. This offense will go Super Saiyan. You talk about those deep shots that Goff missed the past couple of weeks. Last night was it, man. On national TV, Kirk Herbstreit called it out. He said, "Did y'all see?" They slowed it down and showed it. J-Mo hit a corner and a safety with a double move and was gone. And then the dude, I felt bad for him, man. The dude, Goff threw it into Goff. I don't know what Goff did. He like threw it at the feet of St. Brown, 5 yards in front of him. And J-Mo broke off the route because he saw it was over and went back to the huddle, man. And shout out to J-Mo, man. The guy takes all types of flack and grief for doing anything, but nobody wants to feel for him when this dude is out here busting his ass, getting open, wide open for a highlight play, and he got to look back and see his quarterback throw the ball into the ground 5 yards in front of him. He ran back and played another play. But that being said, that pissed me off. And then Isaac Tesla, another opportunity, prime time. My defender falls down. I'm wide open in the end zone. Goff airmails it 10 yards out of the end zone. Like, bro, you can't hit that throw. Like, Goff just can't hit a 30-yard pass. And to Sean McVay's credit, that Goff on that Rams team, he could make deep throws. He could. And this version of Goff doesn't believe in deep throws. Hey, why go deep when you could throw three? Why throw a 30-yard pass when you could just throw 3 completions for 10 yards? That's the mentality of this Jared Goff. And can you win a Super Bowl like that? Tom Brady did it. Tom Brady won plenty of Super Bowls like that. But Tom Brady could always make that deep throw. I ain't never see Tom Brady. He might have one a game like Goff used to. Now Goff don't even have that one a game. So as far as I'm sorry, I got triggered a little bit. So all that being said, and then I got my 2 favorite quarterbacks doing battle next week, man. But all that being said, man, the Lions won't do anything. They'll hold on to Goff, and as far as moving forward, you could draft. They're not going to draft anybody because they don't want to put pressure on them. So that's why listen, man. That's why you got to win the Super Bowl this year. That's why it has to be this year, because going forward, last thing I'll say is that's a BIG t-shirt you got on, right?
Yeah.
We just got done watching the Diddy documentary on Netflix by 50. There's a line in that documentary that says everybody around Diddy ends up in jail, ends up killed, or ends up
dead.
Huh?
I said dead.
Dead, in jail, or in court. Everybody except Diddy, up until now.
Right.
And that's Goff, man. Like, it's always everybody else around Goff's fault. It's the O-line. It's the receivers dropping balls. It's the offensive coordinator. it's always there was another quarterback who I used to hear the same. It's never that guy's fault. And hey, he would go deep, but hey, his offensive line is just not giving him time. Or and it's never that guy's fault. So it's gonna continue to not be that guy's fault. And that's why I just like I'm kind of done with it, man. I'm kind of done with it because at some point there are quarterbacks out here like Dak Prescott
Who can make
who
that throw?
who can make that throw and have a lot less, but are doing to a degree more. Because, like I said, man, if how many quarterbacks can I put in golf situation? Now, I'm not saying they would be as well. I don't know, man. I don't know. I will never know. But if you did a trial run of putting all these different quarterbacks in golf situation, I don't think it would be that many quarterbacks where you're like, wow. That guy's no Jared Goff. So, but like I said, man, our hands are tied. He played so well, and he pulled. I'll go ahead and say, man, he pulled the wool over our eyes, and it's just something about it's whatever. That's the whole different thing. But he did enough to show that he can do something, and he earned that contract. I'm not gonna take that away from him. He earned that contract. He earned that extension. And maybe he could do a Joe Flacco 2012 or whenever that was when Joe Flacco just went crazy during the playoffs. Hey, if Joe Flacco could do it, I think Jared Goff could do it too. But I just don't want to. I just don't feel comfortable banking on that. But that's where I'm at. We're stuck with Jared Goff, man.
I wish we could. We could pull up the clip, man. But he spoke on that Tesla throw, and he said that what I'm saying. He said if he had more time, then he would have threw a touchdown to him. But
What about J-Mo? He had all the time in the world for J-Mo, and he threw that bitch straight into the dirt. My bad. He wish if he had more time. What a Tesla! My bad. I was just so mad. That J-Mo one set me off, man. Because they went back. On a normal Lions broadcast. They would have never went back because they don't. I don't know why, but they never show. You know how they show it, like when the quarterback gets sacked,
Yeah.
and then they show the wide receivers. Look, everybody's covered. You don't got nowhere to go. They never do that with the Lions, and I know J-Mo be open because people at the game be like, "Hey, I was at the game. J-Mo was wide open." They get that call every week, but.
Yeah.
If he had more time, he would have what got it to Tesla.
He said he would have threw. He said if he had more time, he would have threw a touchdown to Tesla. But unfortunately, he had that much time. He had already threw the ball, so he just kind of threw it in either he gets it or nobody does kind of thing. And unfortunately, the guy had fell down by the time he had threw it. So. But enough about golf, like you said, man. Hey, golf's the guy. He's been the guy since they signed him to that 4-year extension, which I wouldn't have done. But
your credit, you did not want to do that.